Salutations, good people of the internet. It's that time again. It's time for another ban list, a Grand Archive ban list. And while not a lot has happened this time, there are a lot of things that have been moved to Category 1, which is a sign of things to come potentially. So today I just want to go through these cards, think about and discuss why this was done to them, why they're put on this list, and explore where they could go potentially. So we have, first off, Grim Pastiche. So Grim Pastiche is a card that kind of touches on a lot of sensitive rails, let's say, in card games. The copying effect, the ability to copy something and duplicate its effect. This is a very common effect in games like Magic, the Gathering, obviously. They love copying tokens, copying effects, triggers, all that kind of different things. And I think it kind of works in Magic, but it also creates a lot of chaos. But for a land-based game, I think that's fine. But in Grand Archive, which is a more speedy game, let's say, it's a kind of overtuned Magic with no summoning sickness, faster gameplay, all of that. This one is a bit trickier because we're learning more and more as the time goes on. We're learning that CL is a very versatile deck. It has a lot of different tools, a lot of different cards, unique cards, that not a lot of other archetypes and champions have. And the ability to just copy something and circumvent its, for example, its curse effect. Like Profane Bindings, for example, it's a negate, but because if you copy it to Grim Pastiche, you don't get the curse drawback, let's say. So among all the CL cards they could have hit, or they could have considered hitting, they're thinking about Grim Pastiche. Honestly, I am surprised. I am surprised about this because, for me, the biggest offender is Oblation. If you've seen my other videos, I highly dislike that card. I think it kind of circumvents the spirit of what CL is. And the fact that they did not touch that and went for Grim Pastiche instead, I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I was really surprised about this one. So, if it were up to me, I would have picked Oblation certainly to put on this watch list. But let's see what they're gonna do with this one. I get it. Grim Pastiche allows for some potentially unhealthy interactions. But if I had to choose, I would also add Oblation, certainly. Or if I had to pick between them, I would pick Oblation. I mean, we haven't seen much results for CL other than the Oblation builds anyway. So why Grim Pastiche? Why now? I mean, I read the description here, but they think it's a very flexible card in a tool in CL decks, blah, blah, blah. Fine, all right. Next, we have Incandescent Reliquary. This card also surprised me. I mean, it is a very strong card. But I think if I had to rationalize it, I think it's because how else do you hit Serio? How else do you hit Serio? Serio is undoubtedly the best deck, and you don't want to hit Serio's Command. You don't want to hit Byaku's Command. These are like kind of integral to the deck's strategy. So you can't really hit those unless you want to really nerf the deck. And Reliquary is kind of, I agree with the rationale. It's like Serio is playing this turbo to 3 playstyle, let's say. They just go down influence, rush to 3, and then they play. Other decks like Arsana do this, for example, but Arsana struggles to get back the influence once it rushes to 3. Whereas in this deck, they have an inbuilt mechanic, an inbuilt tool like Reliquary that lets them to just bring it out and start catching up on influence. And with the addition of Lost Providence, this becomes even more problematic. So from this perspective, I get it. And I think if they do decide to ban this card, I'm fine with it. Because I think, as we said, it has a tool that Turbo to 3 decks don't always have. But Goja does have it. And the fact that it's a 1 cost also means there are a few ways to interact with it. Reduce to Ash doesn't kill it. Zephyr does nothing to this. Factorize, fine. I mean, Factorize is very powerful, but that's kind of besides the point. But anyway. So yeah, I mean, if they had to choose hit something in Serio, I would pick this card. Fine, that's good. I mean, when you have the best deck and you don't want to nerf it to the ground, fine. Then we have Topsy Decree. Topsy Decree is a very, 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 very powerful card. I mean, 3 effects in one. I mean, Spell Shroud, banish 2 cards from grave, snipe a card from the opponent. These are not weak effects by any stretch of the imagination, especially if you imbue it and get both at the same time. That is immensely powerful, so powerful. And honestly, I could see this card getting banned one day. I'm not sure if it's time for it just yet. I think they're going to give it a couple of more formats maybe to see how it pans out, but this could possibly be banned. I hope not. I really like this card, but possibly. We will see. Then we have Ranger Strides. Ranger Strides is also a very problematic card that has kind of blanketed the identity of aggro decks in general, in terms of that we've kind of lost wind allies, we've lost fire aggro, still there, fine. But this Ranger Strides card is so powerful. I mean, if you think about it, the Wake Up deck is an OTK deck that can kill you on like turn 3 or turn 4 or something. I mean, that's not really healthy. I mean, sure, we have aggro decks that can kill fast, but they have to assemble pieces and work in certain ways. But this is, I mean, obviously with Looking Glass, this is so powerful. And then you combine it with Cheshire Cat, that's, I don't know. I think for the health of the game, if they do decide to ban this card, I'm fine with it. Because, I mean, I hate that it's going to hurt Diana decks, because I love Diana decks. Aetherwing Diana. But I'm fine with it. If they do decide to ban this card, I think among these on this list, these new cards, Ranger Strides is very likely to be hit. I certainly think so. Especially because Looking Glass is so popular, and maybe this will help combat these decks and maybe bring down the price of Looking Glass. Even with the reprint, I think that's going to be still expensive. But anyway, so yeah, Ranger Strides, unfortunate, but it will probably happen, and it probably should happen. Then we have Baby Green Slime, another very versatile card. I mean, especially in Wind decks. Goja has showed us how powerful it is to abuse a card that can be a fast activated ally that suppresses things, and obviously suppressing is, as the game goes on, as the game develops, we're seeing how powerful suppressing is, blinking things. It's just really powerful. And could they ban this card? Possibly. Possibly. They could go the route of Baby Grey, ban this card, then errata it, Baby Emerald Slime, where it's no longer fast activation perhaps. Because I think the suppressing is acceptable. I think it's acceptable for this card to have a suppress effect. But what's problematic is the fast activation. Especially in a deck like in Wind decks, where they can like reclaim stuff, play stuff, loop stuff. It creates a kind of an unhealthy dynamic, let's say. So I think they could possibly ban this eventually. We'll see. This, in addition to Reliquary together, if they hit both cards, I think Seria would be brought down to our level, to a recent level, which is fine. Then we have Alcahest. So this one, I read the rationale. They were like, we don't want people to have removal in the material deck, which is very accessible removal. Like if you want to draw the Fracturize, the Reduce to Ash, the whatever, you need to draw them. We don't want you to have easy access to cards to removal in the material deck. They want the material deck to be, I mean, it is a toolbox in a sense, but not that degree of being a toolbox, which is fine. I think if they decide to ban this card in the future, fine. I still like it. I think, first off, not all decks can play this. I mean, it needs to be you need to be level 4 plus to get the destruction effect. So Arisana, Merlin, maybe Sylvie Tamer decks if they do level shenanigans. But yeah, I think personally I would not ban this card. I think it's good to have toolbox cards like this. I mean, if you think about it, we have Censor, we have Lantern, we have toolbox solutions that just flood out the opponent. So why not have the removal for them? I don't really understand why this is a problem, but it's fine. They know, obviously, the game devs, they know the game better than us. And finally, Unmake Duality. I think Weebs underestimates how far card game players will go for a +1, for a draw. coming from Yu-Gi-Oh myself, where you have a card that says Pot of Desires, where it says banish 10 cards from your deck, top 10 cards of your deck face down to draw 2 cards. And given how similar GA and how fast GA is, trust me, +1s are insane. Magic +1s are insane, fine. But in this game where speed is very important, where you need to ramp and like rush quickly, I'll make duality is crazy. I mean, it took me a bit off. I was a bit surprised by it, but I had a conversation with my brother about this card recently, and he was like, "Why don't people just play Looking Glass just for the unmake duality? They just have a draw 2 in deck." And when he mentioned that, when PTM just came out, it took me a while. It took me a while to think about this, but honestly, he was right. It's crazy. I mean, why would you not just play Looking Glass? It's a 1 slot in your material deck. You do nothing. You have to commit nothing to it. It enters. It's on the field when you begin playing, and then you draw the unmake. You pay 3. You draw 2. It's like a turbo charge without the commitment or without the setup. So why not just pay 3 and draw 2? You're literally going +1. So if I had to choose from all of these cards on this list, a card that I would ban first, it's possibly Unmake Duality. Especially given how weebs think. They think that any card, the way they think is usually if there's a card that's really generic, that's in every single deck, kind of making the deck's identities monotone, they usually will hit it. So Baby Gray Slime, for example, they used to say that, it's being played outside the slime decks, and people are just getting random draws for free. Or Icebound Slam, it was being played in other decks than Nico. For the Abyss, everybody and their mother was playing that card, even if they had no business playing it, just to turbo to 3. So I respect this a lot about weaves, that the fact that they want decks to have their identities. They will allow creativity and allow innovation within a set identity. They don't want people just cheesing things out, playing random engines, like Unmake Duality, for example. Let's call it an engine, a draw engine. So I get that. That's fine. So yeah, I think these cards, it's fine. I'm happy with the selection of cards they've picked, and I'm looking forward to the next one. But obviously, as a Nico main, my my delight is the fact that we got a new Proxy as Vault card, and I don't know. I haven't worked it out yet, but I know that there are new ways to not abuse this card. Let's just say use this card. So I have not figured it out yet. I am looking forward to that, certainly. And it's time to cook, basically. We need to cook and figure out how to make Nico great again. Side note, a few months ago, I think maybe a couple of months ago, we had a no ban list event. And I obviously went for Nico. And for Icebound Slams, for Lost in Thought, amazing. But I did not play level 1 Nico. I played Goja level 1. Because the fact that you have a Fate Stone that's milling you a card every turn for free, it's like Fractal of Rain that you access on demand, was too good to pass on, to be honest. And I loved playing Goja level 1. I mill whatever I need and then go to Nico level 2 and do the Ravishing Finale and just play the Nico game plan. Even with this card, I am still hesitant whether it's viable playing Nico level 1 or Goja as a level 1 only, just to get the Genbu, the stone. And even if you don't go to Genbu, it's fine. As long as you get a few mills in the beginning of the game and you set yourself up, it's fine. But I think this card validates Nico level 1. It makes it more justified to play Nico level 1. So I personally think when I go to build this deck, I'm definitely going to play Nico level 1 to test it with this card. It gives you a chance to play the early Icebound, which is great. So yeah, that's it for today. A lot to consider, and I'm especially curious about what people are going to do with Nico. I'm personally been looking into ways to make this deck work, and I haven't figured it out yet. I'm sure better players are going to figure it out earlier than me, and I look forward to seeing what they discover. All right, so thanks for joining us for this discussion. See you next time.